Hi guys, my name is Amanda. This is my husband. He's
Hi.
gonna be interviewing me for He'll Be Heard.
My name's Justin, Amanda's husband, and I'm happy that I can help with this today. Do you come from a family that is all deaf or all hearing or mixed?
They were all hearing. They found out when I was around 3 years of age. And from there it started, with a whole lot of work into making me into a better person for myself. I went to a school for the deaf for about 5 years before I mainstreamed to a public school. And I thought that was a really good idea because you can interact with everybody who are within your community, and they can provide some insights. I feel that that you can be around deaf people. You can learn ASL, you can learn communication, you learn speech therapy, and you make lifelong friends.
Did your parents learn sign language to communicate with you, or did they use speech to communicate with you, or a mix of both?
They did a mix of both, but I seem to flourish more with speech.
Do you feel that school or growing up would have been easier or harder if you did sign language or speech, or if they were integrated more together?
I feel like if they were more integrated together, I think it would have been a lot easier. Not just for me, but for other hearing students as well.
Were you happy that you pushed to go mainstream and be around more of the hearing community?
I feel like that's hard to say because I felt like, my whole family was hearing, and, I feel like that I wanted to be normal, so I wanted to be around people that talk, and so in a way, I was probably frustrated because I felt like they couldn't understand this because they weren't in my shoes. So it was just kind of a back and forth kind of situation.
So you went to high school at a technical high school, right?
It was like a college prep high school, yeah.
Okay. And you focused on dance there.
Yes.
How was that received with people knowing that you were deaf and wanted to dance, and it being centered around very often hearing the music? And what were the challenges with being in a dance program?
For me, I didn't feel like there was a challenge because I, grew up dancing, and that's kind of how I started with my mom. She wanted me to interact and be more socialized with the, not just the hearing community, but she just wanted me to be more socialized for myself and, have some kind of interaction. So when I grew up dancing, and then I wanted to pursue the dance in high school, and I didn't feel like it was a challenge, but it did, shock some people that were kind of questioning me, and I kind of blew them away, which is my talent.
So knowing that your primary communication with people is obviously speech and lip reading, how is it difficult in your everyday life, and then maybe even younger, being in dance class, trying to take direction from a teacher, or what challenges do you face with lip reading?
I didn't really, a lot of times they turn around, I won't be able to understand them if you're not facing me, or, if they have like a paper in front of their mouth, or a mustache, that can be like really difficult to understand because you know you're trying to lip read, or if they have like an accent, um, that can also be difficult too. But it hasn't really been that hard because I got through it. I got it through.
Okay. What about in your professional life, where you work as a medical professional and you have to wear a
A
mask?
mask.
So how do you work? How do you deal with that with your patients and coworkers?
It's always gonna be a challenge to this day. Oh my gosh, can you say? It's always going to be a challenge. I feel like if you find the right place, the right office, the right team players, the right people that are willing to work with you in this, then I feel like you can be able to do your job. If they're not willing to help you out, not willing to make the accommodation, then you know that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the place for you.
Okay. So, in terms of your time out of work and out in the community, do you interact, do you think, with the hearing world more or the deaf world? And why?
I would say the hearing community because you know most people that I work with are hearing. All I can say is I do come across deaf people in my life, and you know they've always been very happy to see me. I did have a deaf mom that came in while I was cleaning her daughter's teeth. Her daughter was hearing, but her mom was very happy to know that I was deaf, and it was kind of interesting because I think she worked at a like a vocational place where they help you with job placement, right? So she told me there was a deaf student who went to hygiene school for 2 years, and she quit because they couldn't make the accommodation for her. And I was like, you know, I want to talk to her. I gave her my email. If she had any questions, I want to talk to the school. You know, this is kind of why I created that deaf girl, because I know that there shouldn't be any barrier and that, you know, you can be able to do whatever you can do.
What's one thing that when you're out in everyday life, grocery shopping, whatever, what's one thing that you wish maybe was made more accessible or easier to do for a deaf person? Like, what's one thing that you always run into and you're like, man, I wish I could understand that better, but I can't because I can't hear it?
There are a lot of things, I guess. I feel like if people in general had more patience with others, then you know life would just be more calm and more easier, rather than just being more respectful of others and you know.
What about, I know we like going to the movies and
Yeah, I always complain about closed captioning.
it's always a separate handheld, so you wish maybe a movie could be offered with it on the screen so you don't have to
Like
go
look up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make my life so much easier. But that probably won't happen for many years.
Are there any people in your family or maybe a close friend who's deaf or hard of hearing? No? What?
Everybody's hearing, as far as I know.
So with your family being hearing, how did that make you feel growing up?
They always accepted me for who I am as a person. So, I mean, I didn't really feel that much different.
You're not left out or? No? Good.
You know, I mean, there were times, but they've always tried their best to, you know, and I've always been family to them, and they've always been family to me. So
What are the most common misconceptions you think that people have about either deaf or hard of hearing people?
that we can't do anything. That I've heard people coming, they didn't know that we could drive, they didn't know that we could go to school, they didn't know that I could be a dental hygienist because we wear the mask all the times. I feel like there's so much that we can teach them, you know, and there's so much that we can do, we just can't hear.
People have said that when you lose a sense, that other senses get heightened. Have
Yeah.
you experienced this? And what ways have you experienced it?
I can definitely smell things almost like a mile away for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also feel like I have a heightened sense of awareness too. Like I'm more, if I'm like quiet and I feel like something's wrong, then there is something wrong. You know, it's just the vibe, the energy that I can get from people, and from the gods too.
So some people might be apprehensive to come up and speak to someone who's deaf because they don't know sign language. What's the best way to approach somebody who's deaf, and if you don't know sign language, and try to communicate with them?
I feel like people. So to answer that question, you can always, like, if you're really nervous about like approaching us, you can always leave us a note and, like, you know, just talk, and you know, if there's a question, if we respond differently, then you know, maybe somebody next to us, like you, can speak for me or you know, sign for me. But I'm always, you know, people always ask me questions. I'm very open to answering them.
So you would suggest that people come up and ask questions and don't be shy, and
Yeah, I don't feel like you should be shy. If you want to learn more about it, there's nothing wrong with asking about who we are.
let's ask a couple lighter questions, I guess. If you had to choose, would you go to the beach or to the mountains?
Definitely the beach.
Coffee or tea?
I have to go with coffee.
What is the funniest communication fail that you've had?
Like if they say something and I say something else and it's not what it's supposed to be. Could that make sense?
Yep. Like you thought they were talking about something else, but you heard it differently or read their lips wrong and answered something completely wrong, or not
Yeah,
wrong,
it was
but
like,
not relative to what they were asking.
yes, for
Okay.
sure. That definitely, yep.
What would your dream job be, and why?
I've always wanted to be a vet growing up. Well, I love animals. I do. It's just,
We have 3 dogs. Has anybody said you look like a celebrity, and who?
I've been told that I look like Amanda Peet.
Finally, what's something that would shock people to find out about you?
That I was a NFL cheerleader.
For which team?
Philadelphia Eagles. Go Eagles. And then, you know, sometimes they get shocked that when I tell them that I was on MTV True Life, I'm deaf. But that was so long ago, and sometimes people still recognize me.
How was it with the other girls on the team? You being probably the only deaf cheerleader in the league.
I think everybody was just shocked that I can do anything that I could do, and they were all very welcoming and very helpful, so I really enjoyed my experience on the team.
We're expecting a child in January, and thought a good question to ask would be, what worries you with being deaf and becoming a mother?
I would have to say that I won't be able to understand my children. I guess it comes from that dream that I had. Do you remember me telling you this? I had a baby and then he tried to talk or something, and then I woke up and I felt like the huge sense of fear from it, and it was just very heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. I think so. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most about being a mom?
Just being a mom, spending time teaching him or her, sign language the way that I learned it, and just a little basic communication to start with, and having fun as a family.
Well, that's all the questions we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, everyone.